In 1987, the Love Boat ended and its stars thought they'd sail into happy futures. But what happened next shocked everyone. Secret addictions destroyed careers, racism blocked opportunities, child stars faced abuse that haunted them for decades, and a beloved TV mom hid a deadly heart condition while battling depression. These aren't the fairy tale endings fans expected. The truth about what really happened to your favorite cruise ship crew will change how you see them forever. Gavin MacLeod. When the Love Boat ended in 1986, Gavin MacLeod's life changed in ways no one expected. Millions of fans adored him as Captain Stubing. He had appeared in all 250 episodes, but off-screen, his world was nothing like the happy cruises he showed on TV. Right after the show, people couldn't separate him from the character. Passengers on real cruises sent him letters, complaining about their trips as if he was in charge. Some even stopped him in public, asking him to fix their vacation problems. It was strange and exhausting. The line between fiction and real life had completely blurred, but there was something much darker happening. MacLeod was hiding a terrible struggle with alcohol. The pressure of fame and the need to always look cheerful pushed him into drinking more and more. His addiction grew so bad that it destroyed his marriage to his second wife, Patty. They divorced in 1982. In a heartbreaking confession, MacLeod later said he started drinking because he couldn't handle the huge success of the Love Boat. But there was hope. After 3 years apart, he and Patty remarried in 1985. He had chosen sobriety, and he credited his faith and Patty's love for saving him. Life wasn't easy even after that. Critics made fun of the Love Boat. His own agent had once sent him the script with a note that said, "I think it sucks." But MacLeod stayed strong. He believed in the show's charm. He was right. The show helped bring cruise ships back to life. And even though it made him famous, it also trapped him in that one role in the eyes of the public. In his later years, MacLeod changed in a powerful way. He became a born-again Christian. He worked hard to help others, especially people facing addiction or marriage troubles. With Patty, he started a seminar called Born Again Marriages. They spoke to couples trying to save their relationships. In 2013, he shared his full story in a book called This Is Your Captain Speaking. In it, he wrote openly about his battle with alcohol, the price of fame, and how he found strength through faith. In the final part of his life, MacLeod's health failed. He was hospitalized several times. On May 29, 2021, he passed away at home in Palm Desert, California. He was 90. His stepdaughter said it was due to his age after months of illness. His nephew confirmed it was not COVID-19. Gavin MacLeod left behind a legacy of joy, pain, and courage. A man who faced his storms head-on, just like a true captain would. Bernie Kopell. When the Love Boat ended in 1986, Bernie Kopell was at the top of his game. People everywhere knew him as Dr. Adam Doc Bricker, the smooth, charming ship's doctor. For 13 years, he had lived a dream. The show ran for 10 seasons, plus 3 two-hour specials. He traveled in style, flew first class, and enjoyed red carpets and luxury. Then, it all stopped. Bernie felt lost. He said, "I shut down when it was over. You think this is going to go on forever." The perks vanished overnight. No more VIP airport lines, no more fancy lounges. He joked that, at the height of their fame, the cast probably could have gotten away with murder because of how well they were treated. But now, he was just another actor in Los Angeles, waiting for the phone to ring. The silence was crushing. Without steady work, Bernie's life changed. The man who had played the confident, woman-charming Doc felt invisible. He turned to stage plays, hoping to find his spark again. But fans moved on. Time moved on. Now 92, Bernie looks nothing like the heartthrob millions once admired. Neighbors see him quietly walking through his Los Angeles neighborhood, and few recognize him. His personal life brought its own heartache. In 2021, his dear friend Gavin MacLeod died. Gavin had been his captain not just on TV, but in real life, a steady, supportive friend for decades. Losing him hurt deeply. Bernie leaned on his wife, Katrina Hanadel, and their sons, Adam and Josh, to get through the sadness. Time changed everything. The man who once got surprisingly naughty fan letters now lives a simpler, quieter life. Now and then, he still appeared on TV. He had a small role in The Lincoln Lawyer in 2022. He popped up on Grey's Anatomy. Fans spotted him in 8 episodes of Be Positive in 2021. But these moments were brief, nothing like his shining days as Doc. Fred Grandy's life after The Love Boat took a path no one saw coming. When the show ended in 1986, people expected him to fade from the spotlight. Instead, he shocked everyone. That same year, he ran for office and won a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives for Iowa. He served 4 terms, staying in Congress until 1995. The man who played Gopher quickly dropped that image. He became known as a serious, hard-working lawmaker. He focused on issues like crop insurance and the messy House banking scandal. He also played a big role in healthcare debates. Both Democrats and Republicans praised his work. But politics wasn't smooth for Grandy. In 1994, he took a huge risk. He ran against Governor Terry Branstad in the Republican primary. Party leaders were furious. Grandy didn't hold back. His campaign was full of biting remarks, and he even attacked his own party. Many independents and Democrats supported him, but he lost by just 11,000 votes. The loss stung, but it freed him too. He started speaking out against the hypocrisy in Washington. He called the Republican contract with America nothing but snake oil. He said GOP leaders acted like mean-spirited, angry, petulant schoolboys. His honesty made him stand out, but it also made him an outsider. When he left Congress, people remembered him for his sharp wit and blunt words. Grandy's next moves were just as surprising. He became president and CEO of Goodwill Industries. Then he switched gears again. He became a conservative radio host in Washington, D.C. That, too, ended in controversy. In 2011, he quit his show. He said management told him to stop talking about radical Islam. His wife, who often appeared on the show, said they were being silenced for their views. The station denied this, but the story exploded in the media. Many saw Grandy as a fighter for free speech. His personal life had struggles, too. In 2004, he had a major heart scare. At first, he thought it was food poisoning, but it turned out to be serious. He needed emergency angioplasty. He later said he survived thanks to good genes and his vegetarian diet. But the event showed just how much stress had built up over the years. Even after all this, Grandy didn't step away from the spotlight. In 2024 and 2025, he returned to acting. He performed in theater alongside his old Love Boat co-stars. The photos from these shows tell the story. His face, once so young, now shows the years and the weight of his public battles. Ted Lange. Ted Lange is best known for playing the friendly bartender Isaac Washington on The Love Boat. His smile and double finger point made him one of the most loved faces on television. But what happened after the show ended was nothing like the happy image people remember. His story is full of challenges, unfair treatment, and moments that would shock many fans. In January 2025, Ted, now 77 years old, spoke openly about the racism he faced during and after his time on the show. He was in all 250 episodes. Yet behind the scenes, things were far from equal. A key producer on The Love Boat blocked his character from having love stories. Ted said on a podcast that this man simply didn't want to write romantic plots for a black character. Other actors on the show got love interests and special scenes. Ted's character was kept on the sidelines. It got so bad that his co-stars, Kopell and Fred Grandy, stepped in to help. They wrote a love story for Isaac themselves and brought in guest stars like Scatman Crothers and Verney Watson. When Ted confronted the producer about it, the man replied, "You're a bartender. What would you be doing there?" The producer even said, "We're not writing you in." This was despite the fact that Ted was meant to be an equal part of the main cast. The unfairness didn't stop when The Love Boat ended. Ted kept facing barriers as a black man in the business. He tried writing and directing, but people still tried to block his success. When he co-wrote a play called One Righteous White Boy with comedian Jeff Wayne, some agents tried to push him out. They didn't believe a black writer could be behind the project. Ted called this the dark side of Hollywood. Even today, he says, Racism in the industry is still strong. Through it all, Ted stayed strong. He didn't let bitterness take over. He said, "Am I bitter? No, I'm not bitter because I know what you're doing. I see it coming." His strength is clear, but the years of having to fight for respect have taken a toll. His story shows just how hard it can be for actors of color, no matter how famous they are. Lauren Tewes. When The Love Boat brought smiles to millions, Lauren Tewes became one of the most familiar faces on television. As Julie McCoy, the cheerful cruise director, she seemed to have it all. But behind the scenes, her life was falling apart in ways that fans never imagined. Lauren's story is filled with fame, addiction, loss, and a fight to find herself again. She appeared in 199 episodes of the show, but during those years, everything started to crumble. In the early 1980s, she became hooked on cocaine. Fame came fast. The parties came faster. The pressures of being a star and dealing with a troubled marriage were too much. She later said, "All that money didn't go into a bank. It went into my nose." By 1984, she had spent thousands on drugs. She lost her expensive home. She lost her job. The drug that made her feel good at first became something she needed every day. She tried to juggle everything: her career, her marriage, her house, but it only made things worse. She admitted she didn't sleep at home anymore. She slept at work. Her behavior became so bad on set that she called it her fatal mistake. Everyone on the show saw what was happening. Producers and co-stars noticed she wasn't the same. The executive producer, Douglas Kramer, said she struggled to face reality. This went on for 7 years. After the 1984 season, it all ended. She was fired without a farewell scene. At that time, people saw addiction as a moral failure, not an illness. Lauren became a warning to others in Hollywood. The fall was painful. She didn't just lose her job, she lost herself. She lost her money, but she didn't give up. In 1980, she had already started to fight her addiction. With a counselor's help, she slowly cut back and finally quit. She said one day it hit her that she was not having fun anymore, that she was wasting all her money and killing herself, so she stopped. But the world didn't let her forget. For years, people called her a former cocaine addict. That label followed her everywhere. Even so, Lauren found her way back. She kept acting here and there. She did radio dramas. She was even in the 2017 revival of Twin Peaks. But she also found a new passion. She went to culinary school. She became a cheese expert and worked as a sous chef in Seattle. Now, in 2025, she is 71. She keeps a quiet life. Her face shows the hard times she's been through, but also the strength that helped her survive. Jill Whelan. When The Love Boat ended in 1987, everyone thought Jill Whelan, who played Sweet Vicky Stubing, would sail smoothly into a happy life. But that didn't happen. What followed was a stormy journey filled with pain, loss, and incredible strength. The world saw her as the lucky child star, but behind the scenes, she was carrying secrets that would only come out decades later. Jill was just 11 when she joined the show. She should have been enjoying her childhood. Instead, she faced something no kid should go through. The producer, Doug S. Kramer, made life on set cruel for the young girls. Jill shared in a 2024 interview, at age 58, that he forced the girls into tiny outfits that didn't fit. For Jill, this meant a harsh diet that nearly broke her. A doctor put her on only 400 calories a day. That's shocking when you know girls her age need about 200. Her body and mind both paid the price. Even when she lost the weight, Kramer stayed cruel. He refused to let the cameras show her full body and snapped, "Neck up only. I don't want to see her looking thin. I'm pissed off she was fat in the first place." Those words haunted her for years. As Jill grew up, the pain didn't stop. The money she earned as a star seemed to vanish. By 2016, she admitted she was broke. All she had left was $5,000. A lot of that loss came from bad business deals tied to her first husband. Then came a second divorce and more struggles. While her ex, Michael Tchaikovsky, lived in a 10-bedroom mansion on a 14-acre estate and made $126,000 a year, Jill had to work several jobs just to get by. She was an investigative journalist, an events producer, and even an associate producer. All the while, she was trying to take care of her son. But Jill didn't give up. In 2017, she found love again and married former NFL quarterback Jeff Napple. In 2025, she made a fresh start. She moved to Arizona to be close to her family, her mother, sister, and son. She also found new purpose. As Princess Cruises' celebrations ambassador, she traveled the world, met fans, and brought smiles wherever she went. She kept acting, hosted podcasts, and showed up at Love Boat reunions. No matter what life threw at her, Jill kept going. The scars from her early fame are still there. Jill herself laughs a little when she says she's been married 3 times. It's her way of showing that she owns her story, the good and the bad. And now, she speaks out. She fights for mental health and for protecting kids who work in showbiz. Ted McGinley. When Ted McGinley stepped onto the Love Boat in 1983, playing the charming ship's photographer, nobody imagined the strange and rocky path that lay ahead. Ted wasn't like other actors from the show who quietly disappeared after the series ended. Instead, he became one of Hollywood's most talked about names. Not for what he did on screen, but for a strange label that stuck to him for years. His journey was filled with painful moments, surprising turns, and a kind of success that few saw coming. It all started with what people began calling the show killer curse. By the late 1990s, Ted's name was everywhere on a website called Jump the Shark. The site kept track of when people believed their favorite TV shows started to go downhill. The phrase came from Happy Days, a show Ted joined after it had a famous scene where Fonzie jumped over a shark on water skis. Fans said that was the moment the show lost its magic. Ted joined several shows late in their runs, and the same thing kept happening. The show's ratings fell, or they got canceled. The connection seemed so strong that Ted himself once admitted that when he first saw the website, it truly hurt him. He said, "The first time I came across the website, it hurt my feelings. I was hurt by it. It's not fun to read those sorts of things." That label wasn't just a joke. It followed him and cast a shadow over every new role. The weight of that reputation took a toll. Even though Ted kept getting work, many in the industry whispered about his so-called curse. Some producers even teased him about it. It would have been easy for him to give up or fade away, but Ted chose another path. He pushed forward. He showed up in Married with Children, staying for 166 episodes. He had regular parts in Hope and Faith and made guest appearances on hits like Mad Men and Castle. Every time people thought his career would dry up, he proved them wrong. Then came the turn nobody saw coming. Ted became a favorite on the Hallmark Channel. He appeared in one heartwarming film after another: The Note, Hard Time, Hostage Hotel, Every Mother's Worst Fear, and more. This wasn't just a second chance. It was a fresh start. Ted found a whole new audience that loved him. He once said, "There's a whole group of people that are just sort of sitting on the fringe looking for something to watch. And Hallmark has a very loyal audience, so we just keep feeding that audience, and I think it's kinda cool." The man who once seemed cursed had become a star all over again. Now, in his late 60s, Ted McGinley is still surprising people. Between 2023 and 2025, he took on a role in Shrinking on Apple TV+, working alongside big names like Harrison Ford. The praise he got from fans and critics moved him deeply. Ted admitted that it brought him to tears. After so many years of being called the show killer, he finally felt the joy of being celebrated. He said, "I'm so accustomed to being viewed as the worst, or being labeled as a negative addition to a show. This experience has been remarkable, and I genuinely feel fortunate." Pat Klous. Pat Klous stepped onto the Love Boat in 1984. She took over as cruise director, playing Judy McCoy, the sister of Julie McCoy. The show was already a big hit. Pat appeared in the final 55 episodes before the series ended in 1986. Many fans thought she would go on to bigger things, but what happened next left people shocked. Instead of chasing more fame, Pat walked away from Hollywood. She didn't try to land movie roles or stay on TV. Her final acting credit came in 1987. She appeared in just one episode of Murder, she wrote. After that, she simply disappeared from the spotlight. There were no scandals, no reality shows, and no tell-all books. Pat chose a quiet, private life. It was a choice almost no one expected from someone so well-known. Her decision was even more surprising because of where she was in life. When she joined the Love Boat, she was a young mother. Her son was still a toddler. She was married to an airline pilot named David Beach. In interviews, she said the show's schedule helped her see her son every day. That was rare for anyone working in Hollywood. But once the show ended, Pat put family first. She focused on her personal life. In 1986, her marriage ended in divorce. Even so, she stayed away from fame. What really shocked fans was how completely she vanished. Tewes, who played Julie, battled addiction and later became a chef. Grandy became a U.S. congressman, but Pat left no trace. There were no interviews, no fan convention photos, and no social media pages. Even photo archives and entertainment news sites only have old pictures from her acting days. Mentions of her today are brief, buried in stories about the Love Boat. Her total retreat from public life has sparked many questions. Some wonder if she wanted to escape the pressures of Hollywood. Others think she may have had a bad experience that pushed her away. But the truth is, no one outside her close friends and family knows. Teri Hatcher. When Teri Hatcher appeared on the Love Boat as Amy, no one could have imagined the wild ride that would follow. She is 60 now. Her life after the show became a mix of great success and painful challenges. It showed both the beauty and the cruelty of life in Hollywood as she grew older. After leaving the Love Boat in 1986, her career took off. She became a star when she played Lois Lane in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Later, she won even more fans as Susan Mayer on Desperate Housewives. But fame also brought endless attention. People didn't just admire her, they watched her every move, every wrinkle, every outfit. Everything was judged by fans and critics alike. In the 2020s, this became even worse. Her looks became a hot topic online. In 2025, things reached a breaking point. Teri appeared at the Ernstings family fashion show in Hamburg. Suddenly, the internet was full of harsh comments. People asked, what's going on with her face? And what's up with her eyes? Some even said she looked older than 60. A few fans tried to defend her, saying she looked her age, and that was fine. But the event showed how unfair people can be, especially toward women in Hollywood. Just months earlier, at Cannes, she had worn a black dress with a thigh-high slit. She was praised for looking stunning, but now the same people were tearing her down. Then came the plastic surgery talk. It wasn't new, but in 2025, the rumors exploded. Some people said she had used too much Botox. Others claimed she had facelifts. Teri spoke out. She said she had tried Botox and fillers before, but had stopped back when she was filming Desperate Housewives. She posted selfies without makeup to show her real face. She told people she wanted to see herself as she really was. The attacks didn't stop with her looks. Stories spread that she was homeless and broke. Some tabloids said she was living in a van. Teri called these stories lies. She also opened up about her heartbreak. In her 40s, she tried to have a second child using a sperm donor. She lost the baby. That loss hurt deeply. But through it all, Teri stayed strong. She spoke about the difference between being alone and feeling lonely. She kept reminding people that it's okay to be yourself and to keep going no matter what life throws at you. Florence Henderson. Florence Henderson will always be remembered as America's favorite TV mom. But what many people never knew is how much pain and struggle she carried behind that warm smile. After her run on the Love Boat, where she appeared 10 times, her real life took a much different turn. What fans saw on screen was a cheerful, put-together woman. But away from the cameras, her life was full of secrets, health battles, and heartbreak. Florence worked harder than most people could imagine. Even as she got older, she refused to slow down. She hosted The Florence Henderson Show and Who's Cooking with Florence Henderson on Retirement Living TV. In 2010, at the age of 76, she even joined Dancing with the Stars as a contestant. Dr. Michael Hunter later revealed that she kept working right up until the end. Just 2 days before she died, she thought she had the flu and called her doctor. It was the first time in 40 years she had canceled any commitment because she wasn't feeling well. That says everything about how determined she was. What fans didn't see was her long fight with heart disease. For 10 years, she had serious heart problems. For the last 5 of those years, she battled atrial fibrillation, a dangerous irregular heartbeat. In 2002, she had major heart surgery. But through it all, she kept most of it private. She even filmed a video for the American Heart Association. In it, she spoke about how she had a heart murmur as a child and urged other women to take care of their hearts. There were other battles too. In her book, Life is Not a Stage, she admitted to struggles with depression. Much of it came from a tough childhood and trouble in her marriages. She even shared the shocking story of an affair with New York City Mayor John Lindsay. That affair left her with pubic lice. She tried to find humor in it, writing that crabs do not discriminate, but cross over all socioeconomic strata. Her smile hid more pain than anyone guessed. She had a hysterectomy. She lived with osteoporosis. At times, she drank heavily, and she felt secret relief when she skipped her father's funeral. That moment showed just how complicated and painful her family life really was. Those close to her later said that she struggled with depression and anxiety, even while she worked hard to keep up the image of a happy, healthy star. On November 24, 2016, Florence died of heart failure at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. She was 82. The news shocked everyone. She had been active until just a few days before. Her sudden death reminded the world that even the brightest stars can be hiding deep pain behind their smile.